Now what's happening is that when we soften the breath, nitric oxide is pooling in the nasal cavity. So you can imagine that your breathing is so soft that you're carrying nitric oxide from the nasal cavity into your lungs, into the blood. And at the same time, because our breathing is a little bit less than what it was before, carbon dioxide is pooling in the blood. And carbon dioxide, one of the functions of carbon dioxide is it opens up the blood vessels just like nitric oxide does, but it also acts as a catalyst for the release of oxygen from the red blood cells. So ironically, when you underbreathe, when you breathe less than what you usually do, you're helping to improve your blood circulation. And you will know this by two things. One is you will often feel warmer by slowing down the breath. And the second thing is you will feel increased watery saliva in the mouth. And watery saliva in the mouth indicates that there's activation of the parasympathetic nervous system. So, in the human body, there's what's known as the autonomic nervous system, and it consists of two branches. The sympathetic is the stress response. And just as when we get stressed, our mouth goes dry. Conversely, the parasympathetic is more known as the relaxation response. So you can bring your body into parasympathetic tone just by slowing down and softening the breath. It's the absolute opposite of the deep breaths that most of the Western population take. That's why I say it's entirely the wrong thing to do. Our breathing should be light, our breathing should be quiet, our breathing should be through the nose, it should be paused in the exhale, and it should be diaphragmatic. That's how we breathe, and this is how we would have breathed until the comforts of modern living changed everything. And if you look at authentic practitioners of breathing, for example Chris Pay, in his Beginner's Guide to Qigong, he just says there's 3 levels of breathing. The first level is to breathe so softly so that the person next to you doesn't hear you breathe. The second level is to breathe softly so that you do not hear your breathing. And the third level is to breathe softly so you do not feel your breathing. So with breathing, less is more. And also, if you were to look at Taoist yoga, there's a saying that you should be breathing so softly, so smoothly, that the fine hairs within the nostrils do not move. Now I know yoga in the Western world is taught differently, and often people are encouraged to take big breaths. How do you know? Well, you'll hear people breathing in the yoga studio. You should never hear people breathing during rest. Our breathing during rest should always be light and quiet, and it's a good sign for health. And all you have to do is look at somebody who is sick. Somebody who is sick, you will often notice their breathing, and the sicker they are, the heavier they breathe. So heavy breathing is not a good sign. And if you were to take a run with an elite athlete and you were running down the street with them, you would expect for that given level of exercise that the athlete's breathing would be light in comparison to yours. So of course, with health, light breathing is beneficial.